Hey, what is going on? What is up? Well, I know it's up. Everyone's doing the COVID thing. It is my birthday and pretty stoked. August 17, magical day. A bit of paradise here. Got some waves to myself here today. And yeah, I had a really beautiful fun morning. Yeah, just touching base with everybody. Thanks for everyone who sent me messages and stuff. I really appreciate it. It's so awesome on my birthday today. Thank you. It's a strange day, of course, because you know, it's the anniversary of getting terminal cancer 2 years ago, where they said I wouldn't make my next birthday. Of course, you know, I've bunny hopped that and I'm raging on, and bodies is flying high now, which is so exciting. Honestly, it's the first time I've got out in the water now this week since I've been sick. So yeah, for me, this is a special moment. See me and my little kid there, the Treadley, and it's getting me around. So how are you guys going? I got another scan in, and that was fantastic, of course, fortunately and gratefully. And they're doing this article for me, on me, with my cancer experience for the Australian Medical Journal. And it's been, and they've sent it off to me, and they've asked me to critique it and get back to them. And it's a really odd situation, as it has been, people who followed my ride the whole way through, because the focus was never kind of on the patient, if you like, which really surprised me. And the focus was always too on the symptoms. Now, see if this kind of rings true for what else is going on right now for this experience. But no one kind of questioned, you know, with this paper that they've written, there's no questioning of me at all on causality, like none. So no one's asked me, oh Brad, did you get, you know, were you around any toxins? What kind of lifestyle do you live, mate? You know, do you eat rubbish? Do you know, what's going on with you? You know, have you suffered some sort of trauma? Have you got chronic stress? No one asked a question through this whole period, and even going through this article, which I find really weird, because what's the value of this article if it's not going to get the predisposition or the disposition of the person that they're doing it about, and the history of that person. Odd. There was never any discussion of prevention, right? So after all this, you know, remission, yay, see you later, and then there was no nothing to visit to say, oh, this is what you're doing before, maybe you should do this now. Nothing. So it's no wonder to me that you know, 40% of people that go into remission end up having cancer back in their lives. And I think unless, you know, it seems to me those 60% of people, maybe they go and learn what's needed, learn what's required to change. But certainly there's nothing offered. There's no education whatsoever. There's very little care in that regard. So I found that really interesting. So what is going on now a little bit with everybody with COVID and stuff, it just got me thinking about what we should be looking at. There's a lot of fear about death, and it seems to be driving the media. I mean, my God, what a circus. And the government and its approach. I mean, in my humble point of view, it's been radically mismanaged. COVID's a real thing, and people are getting sick and people are dying. But man, how to mismanage a situation globally is an insanity as far as I'm concerned. And the whole conversation is about people being sick and dying and deadly, and no one's talking about, hey, you know, prevention, causality. In other words, for me to get healthy through my cancer experience was to recognize that my immunity was down, chronic stress, got sick, and so what did they do? Pump me full of chemo, radiation. You know, it was you know, in despair and fear that I had to deal with, and the fear of dying, you know, again, spiking my cortisol and adrenaline and reducing my immunity. So, I mean, this is all happening. And again, these people are in the industry, and they're not kind of saying, hey, we're going to shift your headspace. Hey, we need to be kind of counteracting this chemo. There was none of that. Denise and I had to do that ourselves to formulate a plan, and it wasn't until, as I changed my diet really acutely to service the immunity in my system, as well as changing my headspace so that I didn't have any kind of resentment over my business loss, if you like, which was causing me a lot of stress. And then I had to change my approach to what death meant to me. So instead of being scared about death, I kind of embraced it in a way and was just like, hey, let's go then, buddy. But in the meantime, I'm going to follow this path. And it was when all those things aligned that my immunity then bolstered, and I end up being able to defeat this overtake of bad cells in my body and create a better terrain. And I had to learn that. So what's going on now is with COVID is the conversation is about aged care, and it's about people with underlying health conditions, and there's the outliers that are getting it too, these young guys and stuff, but I'd probably challenge them that their immunity is low from either the lifestyle that they live or how they live and all that kind of stuff. So that's not ever being discussed. And so the people in aged care, why aged people, in the sights of this disease is because their immunity is down. That's what happens with age. You lose it. Why? Because you become more sedate. I mean, the dietary stuff that they gave me in hospital when I was sick, with cancer and gonna go, was rubbish food. Unbelievable. Just sugar-ridden rubbish, no real nutrient food. I'm not sure what they're feeding people in nursing homes, but if it's anything like the hospital system, I would say that it's probably not great. And I would say that, to challenge them, what are they doing in these places to bolster these people's immunity? Now you can't hug a loved one, which reduces your immunity. If you're not eating well, if you're not exercising, if your mindset is stressed, you're gonna go down, and a thing like COVID's gonna come through. So that's my kind of rant on it. And that's basically putting it out there to all of you. I'm largely preaching to the converted. But I'm getting a lot of calls, and I'm having a lot of conversations weekly with people all around the world, contacting me, trying to find out how the hell did you get through this cancer, and what can you share with me, and what can we do? And I found that, oh wow, cool. I'm probably not going to see it, but this big eagle dish just got a nice big fish just cruising around. There's been dolphins and everything out here today. I'm so grateful, so lucky. That's a great sight. So what was I going? I was ranting on. Look after your immunity, my friends. Again, preaching the converted. Most people are doing that and get that. Most of the people in my kind of, posse, if you like. But there's a lot of people outlying, and people who also will watch this and fearful of corona and all that kind of stuff. Like, make peace with death. We're all going to die. There's no conversation at the moment around traffic accidents. I think there's over it's some ridiculous amount of traffic accidents. It's like 850,000 people have died from traffic accidents this year, which is blowing COVID out of the park. And we're not stopping driving, right? So we're okay with certain things. We're okay with looking at death in a certain way, but when it's thrown at us all the time, we kind of get irrational, and we haven't really got a clear space on it. And it's an equal amount of, there's a nice race going on at the moment between suicide and COVID, all right, around the world. There's about 670,000 people who have committed suicide already this year, right? That's not really a conversation, and it doesn't stop you in your tracks either. Here's one to throw at you. Already this year, 5 million people have died of cancer. 5 million people didn't just get it, they died. 10 million people die a year of cancer. Like 10 million people. And already this year, other communicable diseases, that people get with spit, if you like. 8 million people have died this year already from other communicable? I can't even say it, diseases. So, and yet we're not kind of batting an eye and all this sort of stuff. 30,000 people dying of starvation. So it really, you kind of get what you focus on. And so for people out there that are really worried about this COVID thing, treat it responsibly and look after your neighbour and stuff, but don't get frightened of it in such a way that you're going to get scared, and that fear is going to then drop your immunity, and then that immunity, lack of immunity, is going to put you in more of a situation if you're ever to run by this disease. So yeah, a bit of common sense stuff, whoa, out there. But I'm not hearing it on the media. I'm not hearing a balanced conversation with this at all, and it's doing my head in. So anyway, nice rant, huh? It's my birthday, I'm allowed to. I can cry if I want to. And I'm gonna go for another surf now because there's absolutely no one around, and my friends, life is good. I love you all. Thank you so much for the birthday offerings and stuff. And yeah, I miss you all. I hope I see you all soon, and I'll be in touch. All right, lots of love, eh? See you guys. Bye-bye.